Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. All thanks and praise are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and may His peace and blessings upon His last and final messenger, His family, His companions, and those who follow them until the end of times. Welcome to lesson number 17 of Tafsir al-Jalalayn. Alhamdulillah, through the grace and mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yesterday we were able to complete verses 178 to 184. So inshallah today we're going to pick up right where we left off with verse number 185. So I'm going to have our beloved student Abdul Razak read the tafsir, this paragraph, and then I will translate and comment. So go ahead and start us off, Ya Abdul Razak. Bismillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال الإمام جلال الدين السيوطي رحمه الله تعالى: تلك الأيام شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن من اللوح المحفوظ إلى سماء الدنيا في ليلة القدر منه هدى حال هاديا من الضلالة للناس وبينات آيات واضحات من الهدى مما يهدي إلى الحق من الأحكام ومن الفرقان مما يفرق بين الحق والباطل فمن شهد حضر منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر تقدم مثله وكرر لئلا يتوهم نسخه بتعميم من شهد يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولذا أباح لكم الفطر في المرض والسفر ولكون ذلك في معنى العلة أيضا للأمر بالصوم عطف عليه ولتكملوا بالتخفيف والتشديد العدة أي عدة صوم رمضان ولتكبروا الله عند إكمالها على ما هداكم أرشدكم لمعالم دينه ولعلكم تشكرون الله على ذلك.
So in this verse 185, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is continuing with the topic of fasting, particularly fasting in the month of Ramadan. So earlier we read that fasting has been prescribed upon us just as it was prescribed on those who came before us, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that we might become mindful, conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can become people of taqwa. Now here Imam al-Suyuti says, تِلْكَ الْأَيَّامِ, those days. So he's referring to what was mentioned earlier, أَيَّامًا مَعْدُودَاتٍ, that fasting is an obligation only for a few number of days. Now here he's clarifying تِلْكَ الْأَيَّامِ, that few number of days is what? شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الفرقان. The month of Ramadan is the one in which the Quran was revealed as guidance for mankind and as clear signs that show the right way and distinguish between right and wrong. So تلك الأيام, those few days that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned are شهر رمضان. They are in the month of Ramadan الذي أنزل فيه القرآن, in which the Quran was revealed. من اللوح المحفوظ إلى السماء الدنيا في ليلة القدر منه. It was revealed, the Quran was revealed from the preserved tablet to the sky of this earth on the night of power. So Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah, he's highlighting that what is meant by the revelation of the Quran in the month of Ramadan. It is referring to the fact that the entire Quran was revealed from the preserved tablet to the heaven of this earth, or to the sky of this earth, on the night of power, on Laylatul Qadr. So the Quran was actually revealed in two distinct stages. So one of the first things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created is the pen, which was then commanded to write. And everything that is meant to happen in this world, from the beginning of time until the end of time, is recorded in this preserved tablet, al-Lawhul Mahfuz. And the Quran was also recorded in al-Lawhul Mahfuz. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, بَلْ هُوَ قُرْآنٌ مَجِيدٌ فِي لَوْحٍ مَحْفُوظٍ. Rather, it is the glorious Quran in the preserved tablet. And from the preserved tablet, the Quran was sent down in two distinct stages. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he narrates, the entire Quran was revealed to the lower heavens on the night of power. Then whenever Allah wished to inspire something, He would inspire it into the heart of the Prophet ﷺ. So the first stage of revelation, the Quran was revealed in its entirety from al-Lawhul Mahfuz, from the preserved tablet, to a place in the lower heavens known as al-Baytul Ma'mur, known as the established house, or Baytul Izzah, the house of honor. And this is a space in the lower heavens located directly above the Kaaba, and it is the place of worship for the angels. So Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah is telling us that the revelation that's being referred to here in this verse is referring to that first stage of revelation. يعني أنزل فيه القرآن. The Quran was revealed in the month of Ramadan. من اللوح المحفوظ. From the preserved tablet إلى السماء الدنيا, to the skies of this earth. في ليلة القدر منه, on the night of power. So that is the first stage of revelation. Then the second stage, after that, from there it was revealed gradually to the Prophet ﷺ over a period of 23 years. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes the Quran, Hudan linnas, as guidance for all of mankind. Hudan, Imam al-Suyuti highlights, halun, that this word here is playing the role of hal. It is the circumstantial adverb, meaning the Quran was revealed as guidance. Hadiyan min ad-dalala. It is guiding people away from misguidance. Linnas, for mankind. Wa bayyinatin, and as clear signs. Ayatin wadihatin, clear, open signs. Min al-huda, that show the right way. So not only is the Quran Huda itself, it's a book of guidance for all of mankind, but that guidance is absolutely clear. It can be understood by anyone who approaches the Quran with an open heart, with an open mind. So min al-huda mimma yahdi ila al-haqqi min al-ahkam. Right? It guides people towards the truth in terms of rulings. Wa min al-furqan. Right? And it distinguishes or shows the right way and distinguishes between what's right and wrong. So مِمَّا يُفَرِّقُ بَيْنَ الْحَقِّ وَالْبَاطِلِ. And that is the meaning of al-furqan. And that's why most people translate it as the criterion. Criterion meaning between what's right and what's wrong, between truth and falsehood, between belief and disbelief. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gets into the ruling of fasting in the month of Ramadan. فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْ. So those of you who witness the month must fast in it. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. But the one who is sick or is on a journey should fast as much from other days as he missed. يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah intends ease for you and does not intend hardship for you. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةَ وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. All this is so that you may complete the number of fasts as prescribed and proclaim the takbir of Allah for having guided you, and so that you may be grateful. So here Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah says, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ حَضَرَ. Whoever is present, whoever witnesses, مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ. Whoever amongst you is present or witnesses the month, meaning the month of Ramadan, فَلْيَصُمْهُ. Then fast it. Fast the entire month of Ramadan. Then Allah mentions the concession again. وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِّنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرٍ. But whoever is sick or whoever is on a journey, then they will make up other days. تَقَدَّمَ مِثْلُهُ. He says that something similar has already come before, which was, we just read it yesterday. وَكُرِّرَ لِأَلَّا يُتَوَهَّمَ نَسْخُهُ بِتَعْمِيمِ مَنْ شَهِدَ. And one of the wisdoms for repeating it, وَكُرِّرَ, it has been repeated, so there's no misunderstanding that it has also been abrogated because of the general nature of the word man shahida. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, whoever witnesses the month of Ramadan, then they have to fast it. Now Allah repeats this, وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ, to highlight that this has not been abrogated. This concession still stands, that if you are sick or if you're traveling, that is a valid, legitimate excuse for not fasting in the month of Ramadan, and then you will simply make those days up later on. Why? يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ. Allah intends ease for you. وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. And He does not intend difficulty for you. وَلِذَا أَبَاحَ لَكُمُ الْفِطْرَ فِي الْمَرَضِ وَالسَّفَرِ. And that is why Allah has made not fasting permissible for you when you're sick and when you're traveling. وَلِكَوْنِ ذَلِكَ فِي مَعْنَى الْعِلَّةِ أَيْضًا لِلْأَمْرِ بِالصَّوْمِ عُطِفَ عَلَيْهِ وَلِتُكْمِلُوا. And because this reasoning, يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Right? وَلِكَوْنِ ذَلِكَ, because of Allah intending ease and not intending difficulty, being similar to the effective cause for the command to fast. Meaning Allah is commanding you to fast because He intends ease for you, and does not intend difficulty for you. عُطِفَ عَلَيْهِ. The next statement is connected to it. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا الْعِدَّةِ. So that you may complete the number of fasts. Meaning you may complete the fast in the month of Ramadan. Because Allah wants ease for you and does not want difficulty for you. Then he highlights that there's two different recitations here. وَلِتُكْمِلُوا بِالتَّخْفِيفِ, meaning there's no shadda. وَالتَّشْدِيد, and also with the shadda meaning وَلِتُكَمِّلُوا, from the verb كَمَّلَ يُكَمِّلُ, and they both convey the meaning of completing. Al-idda, the time period. أي عدة صوم رمضان, the days of fasting in the month of Ramadan. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عِنْدَ إِكْمَالِهَا, and to proclaim the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at its completion. After completely fasting the month of Ramadan, we are to proclaim Allah's greatness by saying Allahu Akbar. Nam ala ma hadakum, because of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us towards. Yudimu ala ma hadakum arshadakum li ma'alimi dini. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has guided us to the teachings and rulings of His way of life, of Islam. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ, and so that you may be grateful. Allah ala dhalik, so that you may be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon that. Meaning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends ease for you. He doesn't intend difficulty for you. So fast the full month of Ramadan and then, complete it. وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ, and then proclaim the greatness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having guided you, and so that you may be grateful to Allah for that guidance. Na'am. Go ahead and read the next paragraph as well, yeah? Abdul Razak, Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله: وسأل جماعة النبي أقريب ربنا فنناجيه أم بعيد فنناديه، فنزل: وإذا سألك عبادي عني فإني قريب منهم بعلمي فأخبرهم بذلك، أجيب دعوة الداعي إذا دعان بإنالته ما سأل، فليستجيبوا لي دعائي بالطاعة وليؤمنوا يديموا على الإيمان بي لعلهم يرشدون يهتدون.
In this next verse, we are told about a particular question that the companions had asked the Prophet ﷺ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds and says, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When my servants ask you about me, then tell them that I am near. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. I respond to the call of one when he calls upon me. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. So they should respond to me and have faith in me so that they may be on the right path. So Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah, he starts off by highlighting the background, the context of the verse. وَسَأَلَ جَمَاعَةٌ النَّبِيَّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. That a group of companions had asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, أَقَرِيبٌ رَبُّنَا فَنُنَاجِيَهُ أَمْ بَعِيدٌ فَنُنَادِيَهُ. Is our Lord near to us so that we call upon Him silently? We call upon Him in private? أَمْ بَعِيدٌ, or is He far from us? Is He distant from us? فَنُنَادِيَهُ, so that we call out to Him loudly. فَنَزَلَ, so it was revealed, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ. When my servants ask you about me, then tell them that I am near. مِنْهُمْ بِعِلْمِ, I am near to them with my knowledge. فَأَخْبِرْهُمْ بِذَلِكَ, so inform them of that. أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ بِإِنَالَتِهِ مَا سَأَلَ. I respond to the call of the one who calls upon me by giving them what they have asked. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي, so they should respond to me. They should respond to my call. دُعَائِي بِالطَّاعَةِ. They should respond to me, meaning my call of obedience, of obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي, and they should believe in me. يُدِيمُوا عَلَى الْإِيمَانِ. They should remain steadfast upon their iman. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ, so that they may be guided to the right path. يَهْتَدُونَ, so that they may be guided to the right way. Alright, go ahead and read for us the next page of the Mus'haf, followed by the first paragraph of the Tafsir. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون وقاتلوا في سبيل الله الذين يقاتلونكم ولا تعتدوا إن الله لا يحب المعتدين قال رحمه الله أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث بمعنى الإفضاء إلى نسائكم بالجماع نزل نسخا لما كان في صدر الإسلام من تحريمه وتحريم الأكل والشرب بعد العشاء هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن كناية عن تعانقهما أو احتياج كل منهما إلى صاحبه علم الله أنكم كنتم تخونون أنفسكم بالجماع ليلة الصيام وقع ذلك لعمر وغيره واعتذروا إلى النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم فتاب عليكم قبل توبتكم وعفى عنكم فالآن إذ أحل لكم باشروهن جامعوهن وابتغوا اطلبوا ما كتب الله لكم أي أباحه من الجماع أو قدره من الولد وكلوا واشربوا الليل كله حتى يتبين يظهر لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر أي الصادق بيان للخيط الأبيض وبيان الأسود محذوف أي من الليل شبه ما يبدو من البياض وما يمتد معه من الغبش بخيطين أبيض وأسود في الامتداد.
So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is continuing with the topic of fasting and certain rulings and injunctions related to it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. It is made lawful for you in the nights of fast to have intimate relations with your wives. They are a garment for you, and you are a garment for them. علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم. Allah knows that you have been deceiving yourselves, so He relented towards you and pardoned you. فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم. So now you can have intimate relations with them and seek what Allah has destined for you. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. And eat and drink until the white thread of the dawn becomes distinct from the black thread. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is explaining certain rulings, certain injunctions relating to fasting. أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ بِمَعْنَى الْإِفْضَاءِ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ بِالْجِمَاعِ. Right? أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ, it has been made permissible for you. لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ, on the nights of your fast. الرَّفَث. And he says, what does rafath mean? بِمَعْنَى الْإِفْضَاءِ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ, meaning going to your wives بِالْجِمَاعِ, in order to have intimate relations. So the meaning is, having intimate relations with your spouses has been made permissible for you during the nights of your fast, meaning in the month of Ramadan. Now, Imam Suyuti mentions what the background of this is. What context is this being revealed in? He says, نَزَلَ نَسْخًا لِمَا كَانَ فِي صَدْرِ الْإِسْلَامِ مِنْ تَحْرِيمِهِ وَتَحْرِيمِ الْأَكْلِ وَالشُّرْبِ بَعْدَ الْعِشَاءِ. This portion of the verse was revealed in order to abrogate the ruling that existed in the early days of Islam, when fasting was first made an obligation. What was that ruling? مِنْ تَحْرِيمِ, that it was impermissible to have intimate relations with one spouse during the night. It was also impermissible to eat and drink بعد العشاء, after Isha, but what that means is after going to sleep. So in the earlier days of Islam, when fasting was first made an obligation, part of the rule was that after the time of iftar, you were allowed to eat and drink and have relations with your spouse. But if you went to sleep after iftar and then you woke up again, then your fast had already started. You were no longer allowed to eat and drink and have relations with your spouse. So basically, if a companion or someone took a post-iftar nap, it would become difficult upon them. And some companions found this to be very difficult. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this in order to facilitate ease. So that ruling that existed in the earlier days of Islam has now been abrogated. And Allah says, أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ الرَّفَثُ إِلَى نِسَائِكُمْ. That having relations with your spouse during the nights of your fast has been made permissible for you. هُنَّ لِبَاسٌ لَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ لِبَاسٌ لَهُنْ. They are a garment for you, and you are a garment for them. كِنَايَةٌ عَنْ تَعَانُقِهِمَا. This is elusive speech. This is kinaya for their embracing each other. أو احتياج كل منهما إلى صاحبه. Or it is a metaphorical statement for their need for one another. That the husband needs the wife and the wife needs the husband. عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Allah knows that you have been deceiving yourselves or betraying yourselves. So عَلِمَ اللَّهُ أَنَّكُمْ كُنْتُمْ تَخْتَانُونَ تَخُونُونَ. He highlights that تَخْتَانُونَ and تَخُونُونَ both mean the same thing. You have been betraying, deceiving أنفسكم yourselves. How? بِالْجِمَاعِ لَيْلَةَ الصِّيَامِ. By having relations, intimate relations with your spouse during the nights of fasting. وَقَعَ ذَلِكَ لِعُمَرْ وَغَيْرِهِ. And that happened to Umar radiallahu anhu and a few other companions. وَاعْتَذَرُوا إِلَى النَّبِيِّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. And they came and they apologized to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They acknowledged their mistake. فَتَابَ عَلَيْكُمْ قَبِلَ تَوْبَتَكُمْ. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted their repentance. وَعَفَى عَنْكُمْ. And He pardoned them and He forgave them. فَالْآنَ بَاشِرُوهُنَّ وَابْتَغُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. So now you can have relations with them and seek whatever Allah has decreed for you. So فَالْآنَ إِذَا أُحِلَّ لَكُمْ. Now that it is permissible for you, بَاشِرُوهُنَّ جَامِعُوهُنَّ. You can have intimate relations with them. وَابْتَغُوا أُطْلُبُوا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. And seek and look for what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed for you. أي أباحه من الجماع أو قدره من الولد. Meaning what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made permissible for you in terms of having relations with your spouse. Or it could mean قدره من الولد. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has decreed for you in terms of having a child. And this is explicit now that this rule has been abrogated and this is no longer the rule, and it is now permissible to eat and drink and have intimate relations in the night even if a person falls asleep. وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. And eat and drink until the white thread of the dawn becomes distinct from the black thread. So كُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا اللَّيْلَ كُلَّهُ. You can eat and drink now for the entire night. حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمْ يَظْهَرَ. He says يَتَبَيَّنَ means يَظْهَرَ. Until the white thread becomes clear. Right? مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ. From the black thread. And we'll get to what that was referring to. It's referring to basically the breaking of true dawn. When the time of true dawn enters, you see this small white light spread across the horizon, and right below it there's that black light still of the night. So that's referring to the white thread is the light of the true dawn, and the black thread would still be the remnants of the night. Min al-fajr, at the time of dawn. As-sadiq. And Imam Suyuti rahimahullah is clarifying that what is meant by fajr here is al-fajr as-sadiq. So when we look towards the books of fiqh, we find that there are two types of dawns. There's one that they call al-fajr al-kadhib, the false dawn, and the other one is called al-fajr as-sadiq, the true dawn. Right? The false dawn is described as a vertical light that appears in the sky, it disappears, and it's followed by total darkness. And the true dawn is then this horizontal white light that spreads across the horizon. And the time difference between them is approximately, could be 15 minutes or so. It depends on your location and several other factors. But the time for the fast starts at true dawn. That is when the time for Fajr time comes in as well. So Imam Suyuti says this statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bayanun lil khayt al-abyad. And when he says min al-fajr, this is to explain and clarify what is meant by the white thread. وَبَيَانُ الْأَسْوَدِ مَحْذُوفٌ. And the clarification of what is meant by the dark thread or by the black thread is omitted. أي من الليل. What it means is from the night. شُبِّهَ مَا يَبْدُو مِنَ الْبَيَاضِ وما يمتد معه من الغبش بخيطين أبيض وأسود في الامتداد. So he's saying that the white light that appears and the darkness that also appears with it is being resembled or being compared to two pieces of thread. One is white and one is black. And that is the meaning that's being conveyed. That when true dawn breaks again, when true dawn rises, you have this thin horizontal white light that's spreading across the horizon. So that white light that's spreading across the horizon is being compared to a white thread. And the darkness and the remnants of the night that remain is being referred to as the black thread. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying you can eat and drink and you can have relations until that time. Once that time comes in, that is when the fast starts. Naam. Go ahead and read for us the next paragraph as well, yeah? Abdul Razak, Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله ثم أتموا الصيام من الفجر إلى الليل أي إلى دخوله بغروب الشمس ولا تباشروهن أي نساءكم وأنتم عاكفون مقيمون بنية الاعتكاف في المساجد متعلق بعاكفون نهي لمن كان يخرج وهو معتكف فيجامع امرأته ويعود تلك الأحكام المذكورة حدود الله حدها لعباده ليقفوا عندها فلا تقربوها أبلغ من لا تعتدوها المعبر به في آية أخرى كذلك كما بين لكم ما ذكر يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون محارمه.
So we are continuing with that same verse, and it's continuing to explain the rulings and injunctions of fasting, and it's also going to mention one particular ruling related to i'tikaf. ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ Then complete the fast up till the night. Then complete the fast up until the night. So ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ Complete your fast from Fajr, from the time of true dawn, إِلَى اللَّيْلِ until the night. And then he says, إِلَى دُخُولِهِ بِغُرُوبِ الشَّمْسِ What is meant by the night? By the entering of the night at the time of sunset. And that is the period for fasting. Right? Fasting starts with the rise of true dawn and it ends with sunset. As soon as the disk of the sun dips below the horizon, which is sunset. وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنَّ أَيْ نِسَاءَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ فِي الْمَسَاجِدِ And do not have intimate relations with your spouse while you are in the masajid performing i'tikaf. So وَلَا تُبَاشِرُوهُنَّ أَيْ نِسَاءَكُمْ Do not have intimate relations with your wives وَأَنْتُمْ عَاكِفُونَ While you are performing i'tikaf. So i'tikaf is a particular form of worship. It can be performed outside of Ramadan, but the one that's sunnah mu'akkada, that is an emphasized sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, is to do i'tikaf in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And when a person is doing i'tikaf, there are certain rulings, there are certain injunctions that are applied to them. Like they have to remain in the masjid, they're not supposed to go out unnecessarily. So here one of the rulings is being mentioned, that during these nights of i'tikaf, they should not have relations with their spouses. So it says, مُقِيمِينَ بِنِيَّةِ الْإِعْتِكَافِ What does عَاكِفُون mean? It means those who are remaining in the masjid with the intention of performing i'tikaf, meaning secluding themselves in the masjid. فِي الْمَسَاجِد مُتَعَلِّقٌ بِعَاكِفُون Right? فِي الْمَسَاجِد is connected to the word عَاكِفُون نَهْيٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَخْرُجُ وَهُوَ مُعْتَكِفٌ فَجَامَعَ امْرَأَتَهُ وَيَعُودُ This is a prohibition for those who used to leave the masjid while they were in i'tikaf. They would go home and have relations with their wife and then come back. Allah says don't do that. When you're in i'tikaf, just remain in the masjid, don't leave unnecessarily. تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا These are the limits set by Allah, so do not even go near to them. So تِلْكَ الْأَحْكَامُ الْمَذْكُورَةِ Right? Those or these, meaning these mentioned rulings. These rulings that have just been mentioned, حدودullah, are the limits of Allah. حدها لعباده ليقفوا عندها. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has set these limits and boundaries for His servants so that they stop at them. فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا So don't go near to them. أَبْلَغُ مِنْ لَا تَعْتَدُوهَا He's saying this is more profound. This is more powerful than saying don't cross them. If you say don't even go close to it, that is more powerful in stopping you than just saying don't cross it. المعبر به في آية أخرى, meaning elsewhere in Surah al-Baqarah, we're going to come across a very similar phrase. where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says these are the boundaries of Allah, but it says فَلَا تَعْتَدُوهَا, don't cross them. Here it says لَا تَقْرَبُوهَا, don't even get close to them. كَذَلِكَ يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ لِلنَّاسِ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ. Thus Allah manifests His signs to the people so that they may be God-fearing. So كَذَلِكَ كَمَا بَيَّنَ لَكُمْ مَا ذُكِرْ. Right? Thus, as Allah has explained to you what has just been mentioned, يُبَيِّنُ اللَّهُ آيَاتِهِ لِلنَّاسِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clarifies and explains His signs, His verses for mankind. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَتَّقُونَ, so that they might be God conscious. مَحَارِمَهُ, so that they might protect and safeguard themselves against His prohibitions. Now, go ahead and read for us the next verse as well, yeah? Abdul Razak, Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله: ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم أن يأكل بعضكم مال بعض بالباطل الحرام شرعا كالسرقة والغصب، ولا تلقوا بها أي بحكومتها أو بالأموال رشوة إلى الحكام لتأكلوا بالتحاكم فريقا طائفة من أموال الناس ملتبسين بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون أنكم مبطلون.
Now here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning another ruling, but this is a ruling related to financial matters and disputes. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not consume one another's wealth unjustly. Don't take each other's wealth through unjust, unlawful means. وَتُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Nor deliberately bribe authorities in order to devour a portion of others' property, knowing that it is a sin. So this again is related to financial dealings with one another. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is laying down some injunctions and some rulings. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ. Do not eat up each other's property by false means. So وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ أي يَأْكُلْ بَعْضُكُمْ مَالَ بَعْضٍ. Right? One of you should not consume someone else's wealth بالباطل, unjustly, by false means. Al-harami shar'an. He says, what does batil mean? Right? What is something that is unjust or false means? Al-harami shar'an. Anything that is prohibited by the sharia. So no lying, no cheating, stealing, etc. Then he mentions examples. كَالسَّرِقَةِ وَالْغَصْبِ. Like stealing something and usurping something. Right? Stealing has a certain definition to it, and ghasb also has a certain definition to it, which perhaps will come across later. But these are both unlawful ways of acquiring wealth, of acquiring property. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't do that. وَلَا تُدْلُوا بِهَا إِلَى الْحُكَّامِ. And don't deliberately bribe authorities, or don't approach with it the authorities to eat up a portion of the property of the people sinfully. So he says, وَلَا تُدْلُوا تُلْقُوا بِهَا أي بِحُكُومَتِهَا أو بالأموال رشوة. Right? وَلَا تُدْلُوا تُلْقُوا بِهَا. Right? Don't take that wealth بِحُكُومَتِهَا in order to have a dispute settled. أو بالأموال. Don't take that wealth إلى الحكام and give it to the rulers رشوة, as a bribe. Right? Don't take that wealth and give it to the authorities or give it to the judges as a bribe. In order to do what? لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. Right? To eat up a portion of the property of people sinfully, while you know that you are unjust in doing so. لِتَأْكُلُوا بِالتَّحَاكُمْ. Right? Now you're going to eat their property unlawfully by the authorities ruling in your favor because you gave them a bribe. Right? فَرِيقًا طَائِفَةً مِنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ. A portion of people's wealth. مُلْتَبِسِينَ بِالْإِثْمِ. And you're doing so sinfully. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. And you know that what you're doing is wrong. أَنَّكُمْ مُبْطِلُونَ. Right? You know what you're doing is invalid, unlawful, and sinful. Now go ahead and read for us the next paragraph as well. Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله: يسألونك يا محمد عن الأهلة جمع هلال لم تبدو دقيقة ثم تزيد حتى تمتلئ نورا ثم تعود كما بدت ولا تكونوا على حالة واحدة كالشمس قل لهم هي مواقيت جمع ميقات للناس يعلمون بها أوقات زرعهم ومتاجرهم وعدد نسائهم وصيامهم إفطارهم والحج عطف على الناس أي يعلم بها وقته فلو استمرت على حالة لم يعرف ذلك وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها في الإحرام بأن تنقبوا فيها نقبا تدخلون منه وتخرجون وتتركون الباب وكانوا يفعلون ذلك ويزعمونه برا ولكن البر أي ذا البر من اتقى الله بترك مخالفته وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها في الإحرام كغيره واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون تفوزون.
In this next verse, we are told about a particular question the companions had asked the Prophet ﷺ, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells him how to respond. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ They ask you about the new moons. They ask you about the crescent. قُلْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ Say, they are indicative of time for the people and for Hajj. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى It is not righteousness that you come into your homes from their backs. وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى But righteousness is that one fears Allah. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا So come into your homes through their doors. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ And be mindful of Allah so that you may be successful. So Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah says, يَسْأَلُونَكَ يَا مُحَمَّدْ They ask you, O Muhammad, عَنِ الْأَهِلَّةِ About the new moons, or the phases of the moon, or we can say the crescents. So Imam al-Suyuti says, Al-Ahilla jam'i hilal is the plural of the word crescent. لِمَ تَبْدُو دَقِيقَةً ثُمَّ تَزِيدُ حَتَّى تَمْتَلِئَ نُورًا Right? Why does the moon appear as delicate and fine? ثُمَّ تَزِيد Then increase in size until it becomes full of light. ثُمَّ تَعُودُ كَمَا بَدَتْ And then it returns to how it started. So they're asking the Prophet ﷺ about the phases of the moon. Right? Why does it start as a crescent, continue to increase in size until it becomes full, and then continue to decrease until it becomes a crescent again? وَلَا تَكُونُ عَلَى حَالَةٍ وَاحِدَةٍ كَالشَّمْسِ And it doesn't remain constant in one condition like the sun. قُلْ لَهُمْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ وَالْحَجِّ Right? Tell them they are a means for people to determine time and pilgrimage. So قُلْ لَهُمْ هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ جَمْعُ مِيقَاتٍ Right? The word مَوَاقِيت is the plural of the word مِيقَات. Now the word مِيقَات can have two different meanings. It can mean a set time or a set place. And in this context, it's referring to a set time. Right? لِلنَّاسِ So هِيَ مَوَاقِيتُ لِلنَّاسِ Right? It is indicative of time for people. Or it's a means for people to determine time. Right? يَعْلَمُونَ بِهَا أَوْقَاتَ زَرْعِهِمْ Through the phases of the moon, they know and they learn about the times for tilling and cultivating the earth. وَمَتَاجِرِهِمْ And their businesses, yani some of their caravans for business. وَعِدَدِ نِسَائِهِمْ The waiting period of their wives. وَصِيَامِهِمْ وَإِفْطَارِهِمْ When to start their fast, meaning when does Ramadan start? إِفْطَارِهِمْ When to stop and celebrate Eid. The phases of the moon are used to determine all of that. وَالْحَجِّ And it is also used to determine the time of Hajj. عَطْفٌ عَلَى النَّاسِ يعني هي مواقيت للناس وهي مواقيت للحج أي يعلم بها وقت The time for Hajj is known through the phases of the moon. فَلَوْ اسْتَمَرَّتْ عَلَى حَالَةٍ لَمْ يُعْرَفْ ذَلِكَ If the moon remained in one condition, like the sun, then these things will not be known. وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا And it is not righteousness that you enter into your homes from the back. فِي الْإِحْرَامِ While in the state of Ihram. بِأَن تَنْقُبُوا فِيهَا نَقْبًا تَدْخُلُونَ مِنْهُ وَتَخْرُجُونَ By creating a hole or creating a space in the back, entering through it and exiting through it. وَتَتْرُكُ الْبَابِ And you leave the front door. وَكَانُوا يَفْعَلُونَ ذَلِكَ And the people used to do that. وَيَزْعَمُونَهُ بِرًّا And they believed it to be an act of righteousness. So here Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah is highlighting the background of this statement. That during the times of Jahiliyyah, right, certain people think or thought that when they were in the state of Ihram, they were not supposed to enter into their homes from the front door. Rather, it was an act of devotion and piety to enter through the back. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying this has nothing to do with anything. No one told you to do this. This is not an act of worship. It's not an act of devotion. It is not an act of righteousness. This is simply a custom that you have come up with yourselves. Right? وَلَيْسَ الْبِرُّ بِأَن تَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ ظُهُورِهَا وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ مَنِ اتَّقَى. But true righteousness is to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is to be conscious and mindful of Him. So وَلَكِنَّ الْبِرَّ أي ذَا الْبِرِّ. So Imam Suyuti is highlighting here that although Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the word al-birr, which means righteousness, it is referring to the one who possesses it. Meaning وَلَكِنَّ ذَا الْبِرِّ. Rather, the person of righteousness, مَنِ اتَّقَى, is the one who is mindful, conscious, and fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? مَنِ اتَّقَى اللَّهَ بِتَرْكِ مُخَالَفَتِهِ. The one who fears Allah and is mindful of Allah by abandoning, going against Him. By leaving, opposing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, meaning disobeying Him. وَأْتُوا الْبُيُوتَ مِنْ أَبْوَابِهَا. So enter your homes through their doors. فِي الْإِحْرَامِ كَغَيْرِهِ. While you're in the state of ihram, just like when you're not in the state of ihram. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهِ. And be mindful, be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, fear Allah. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. So that you may be successful. تَفُوزُونَ. So that you may succeed. And go ahead and read for us the next paragraph as well. Yeah? Abdul Razak, Bismillah.
قال رحمه الله: ولما صد صلى الله عليه وسلم عن البيت عام الحديبية وصالح الكفار على أن يعود العام القابل ويخلو له مكة 3 أيام وتجهز لعمرة القضاء وخافوا ألا تفي قريش ويقاتلوهم وكره المسلمون قتالهم في الحرم والإحرام والشهر الحرام نزل وقاتلوا في سبيل الله أي لإعلاء دينه الذين يقاتلونكم من الكفار ولا تعتدوا عليهم بالابتداء بالقتال إن الله لا يحب المعتدين المتجاوزين ما حد لهم وهذا منسوخ بآية براءة أو بقوله واقتلوهم حيث ثقفتموهم وجدتموهم وأخرجوهم من حيث أخرجوكم أي من مكة وقد فعل بهم ذلك عام الفتح والفتنة الشرك منهم أشد أعظم من القتل لهم في الحرم أو الإحرام الذي استعظمتموه ولا تقاتلوهم عند المسجد الحرام أي في الحرم حتى يقاتلوكم فيه فإن قاتلوكم فيه فاقتلوهم فيه وفي قراءة بلا ألف في الأفعال الثلاثة كذلك القتل والإخراج جزاء الكافرين فإن انتهوا عن الكفر وأسلموا فإن الله غفور لهم رحيم بهم وقاتلوهم حتى لا توجد فتنة شرك ويكون الدين العبادة لله وحده ولا يعبد سواه فإن انتهوا عن الشرك فلا تعتدوا عليهم دل على هذا فلا عدوان اعتداء بقتل أو غيره إلا على الظالمين ومن انتهى فليس بظالم فلا عدوان عليه.
Now in this next verse Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is speaking about some rules related to engaging with the polytheists of Mecca in fighting and in battle. So it's important to understand these verses in their proper context. So here Imam Suyuti provides some of that context by saying وَلَمَّا صُدَّ صلى الله عليه وسلم عن البيت عام الحديبية وصالح الكفار على أن يعود العام القابل ويخلو له مكة 3 أيام وتجهز لعمرة القضاء وخافوا ألا تفي قريش ويقاتلوهم وكره المسلمون قتالهم في الحرم والإحرام والشهر الحرام نزل. So Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah is giving us the background, the context in which these verses were revealed. That when the Prophet ﷺ was prevented during the year of al-Hudaybiyah, which is the 6th year after Hijrah, that the Prophet ﷺ along with his companions had set out towards Mecca in order to perform Umrah. But when they reached the area of al-Hudaybiyah, the leadership of Quraysh came out and told them that we cannot let you do Umrah this year. And there was a back and forth and there were discussions, and finally they came to an agreement that you cannot do Umrah this year, but you will come back next year and perform Umrah freely without any opposition whatsoever. And this was a difficult thing for the believers, and it led to what is known as Sulhul Hudaybiyah. Right? It led to the treaty or the pact of al-Hudaybiyah. So he continues that وَصَالَحَ الْكُفَّارَ عَلَى أَنْ يَعُودَ الْعَامَ الْقَابِلِ. The agreement that he reached with the non-believers is that they would return the following year, meaning the 7th year after Hijrah. وَيُخْلُوا لَهُ مَكَّةَ 3 أيام. And Mecca would be made empty for them for 3 days. So they could come and do their umrah, perform their rites and rituals and worship, and then they would head back to Medina. وَتَجَهَّزَ لِعُمْرَةِ الْقَضَاءِ. And then the Prophet ﷺ now was preparing for this makeup umrah, which is known as Umratul Qada. وَخَافُوا أَلَّا تَفِيَ قُرَيْشٌ وَيُقَاتِلُوهُم. And now when the believers were preparing for this umrah in the following year to make it up, they feared that the Quraysh would not live up to their end of the agreement, that they would not remain loyal to the agreement that was made. وَيُقَاتِلُوهُم. And that they would actually engage the Muslims in fighting. وَكَرِهَ الْمُسْلِمُونَ قِتَالَهُمْ فِي الْحَرَمِ وَالْإِحْرَامِ وَالشَّهْرِ الْحَرَامِ. And the Muslims, they disliked to fight in the haram, the sacred precinct, the sanctuary, because you're not supposed to fight in it. وَالْإِحْرَامِ, while being in the state of ihram. وَالشَّهْرِ الْحَرَامِ, in one of the sacred months, which was Dhul Qa'dah. Right, this Umratul Qada, it took place in Dhul Qa'dah, and Dhul Qa'dah is one of the 4 sacred months, Al-Ashhurul Hurum, which are Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, Muharram, and Rajab. So they had this hesitation. So in order to appease them and console them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this following verse. وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. That fight in the way of Allah against those who fight you, and do not transgress. Verily, Allah does not like the transgressors. So, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أي لِإِعْلَاءِ دِينِ. That fight in the way of Allah, in the path of Allah, meaning لِإِعْلَاءِ دِينِ, to elevate His religion. And that is what they say is the objective behind al-jihad, is إِعْلَاءُ كَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ, right? To elevate and establish the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which will lead towards peace and prosperity and safety and security. الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُم مِّنَ الْكُفَّارِ. Fight in the way of Allah against those who fight you, مِّنَ الْكُفَّارِ, from the disbelievers. وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا, but do not transgress. عَلَيْهِمْ بِالْإِبْتِدَاءِ بِالْقِتَالِ. And what is the transgression? Right, upon them, by starting the fighting. Right, don't start the engagement. If they start, then you can defend yourselves. But do not start. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. Because truly Allah does not like the transgressors. الْمُتَجَاوِزِينَ مَحُدَّ لَهُمْ. Right, those who cross the boundary that has been set for them. Then he mentions Imam al-Suyuti, وَهَذَا مَنْسُوخٌ بِآيَةِ بَرَاءَ. That this particular ruling was then abrogated by the verse of Surah At-Tawbah, which is فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحُرُمُ فَاقْتُلُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ حَيْثُ وَجَأْتُمُوهُمْ وَخُذُوهُم وَاحْصُرُوهُم وَاقْعُدُوا لَهُمْ كُلَّ مَرْصَدٍ. Right, and we will get to that inshallah when we get to Surah At-Tawbah. So it's this ruling here is mansukh by that verse in Surah At-Tawbah, or بِقَوْلِهِ, the following verse, which is وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ. That fight them wherever you find them, and drive them out from where they have driven you out. So I had Abdul Razak read the paragraph already, but I will have him read the page tilawatan first, and once he's done with that, then we will explain the paragraph inshallah. So go ahead and recite the page for us, yeah? Abdul Razak, Bismillah.
وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ وَلَا تُقَاتِلُوهُمْ عِندَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ حَتَّى يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِيهِ فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ الشهر الحرام بالشهر الحرام والحرمات قصاص فمن اعتدى عليكم فاعتدوا عليه بمثل ما اعتدى عليكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله مع المتقين وأنفقوا في سبيل الله ولا تلقوا بأيديكم إلى التهلكة وأحسنوا إن الله يحب المحسنين وأتموا الحج والعمرة لله فإن أحصرتم فما استيسر من الهدي ولا تحلقوا رؤوسكم حتى يبلغ الهدي محله فمن كان منكم مريضا أو به أذى من رأسه ففدية من صيام أو صدقة أو نسك فإذا أمنتم فمن تمتع بالعمرة إلى الحج فما استيسر من الهدي فمن لم يجد فصيام 3 أيام في الحج و7 إذا رجعتم تلك 10 كاملة ذلك لمن لم يكن أهله حاضر المسجد الحرام واتقوا الله واعلموا أن الله شديد العقاب.
Ahsant. So in the previous verse, in verse 190, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling the believers, again under the context of Umratul Qada, when the Prophet ﷺ and the companions were heading out to go and perform Umrah in Mecca. And they feared that if they were to go there, that the mushrikun of Mecca would not hold up to their end of the bargain and would engage them and attack them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَقَاتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ الَّذِينَ يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ وَلَا تَعْتَدُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُعْتَدِينَ. That fight in the way of Allah against those who fight you, and don't transgress. Verily Allah does not like the transgressors. And then Allah continues, وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ. That kill them wherever you find them, and drive them out from where they drove you out. So وَاقْتُلُوهُمْ حَيْثُ ثَقِفْتُمُوهُمْ, right? Kill them, fight them wherever you find them. وَجَأْتُمُوهُمْ وَأَخْرِجُوهُمْ مِنْ حَيْثُ أَخْرَجُوكُمْ أي مِنْ مَكَّةِ. And expel them, drive them out from where they drove you out. Expel them from where they expelled you, meaning from Mecca. وَقَدْ فُعِلَ بِهِمْ ذَلِكَ عَامَ الْفَتْحِ. And that was done to the polytheists of Mecca during the year of the conquest of Mecca, meaning during Fathu Mecca, which took place in the 8th year after Hijrah. وَالْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is appeasing the feelings of the Muslims, and He's reminding them, الْفِتْنَةُ أَشَدُّ مِنَ الْقَتْلِ. That fitna, to create disorder, to cause chaos, is more severe than killing. Or we can say persecution is far worse than killing. So وَالْفِتْنَةُ الشِّرْكُ مِنْهُمْ. The fact that they were associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they were oppressing you and wronging you, and they expelled you from your homes, and they were involved in the worst type of sin, أَشَدُّ أَعْظَمُ, is more severe مِنَ الْقَتْلِ لَهُمْ, than fighting them fil haram, inside of the haram, أو الإحرام, while in the state of ihram, الَّذِي إِسْتَعْظَمْتُمُوهُ, that you consider to be a big deal. Right? You considered it to be a big deal to engage in fighting while in the state of ihram, inside of the haram, in the sacred months. But their fitna is worse than that. Their fitna is far worse than that. وَلَا تُقَاتِلُوهُمْ عِنْدَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ حَتَّى يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِيهِ. However, don't fight them near al-Masjid al-Haram unless they fight you there. So وَلَا تُقَاتِلُوهُمْ عِنْدَ الْمَسْجِدِ الْحَرَامِ أي في الحرم. Don't fight them in the precincts or in the boundaries of the haram, of that sacred sanctuary, حَتَّى يُقَاتِلُوكُمْ فِيهِ, until they fight you in it. Meaning until they initiate. Then you can defend yourselves, then you can respond. فَإِنْ قَاتَلُوكُمْ فِيهِ. So if they fight you in it, فَاقْتُلُوهُمْ فِيهِ, then fight them in it. وَفِي قِرَاءَةٍ بِلَا أَلِفٍ فِي الْأَفْعَالِ الثَّلَاثَةِ. He's saying in another qira'ah, in another recitation, there's no alif in all of these verbs. What he means is, instead of تُقَاتِلُوهُمْ بِي وَلَا تَقْتُلُوهُمْ, and then حَتَّى يَقْتُلُوكُمْ and فَإِنْ قَتَلُوكُمْ. So instead of being from verb form number 3, is going to be instead from verb form number 1. كَذَلِكَ جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ. Right? And that is the recompense of the disbelievers, or that is the reward of the disbelievers. So كَذَلِكَ الْقَتْلُ وَالْإِخْرَاجِ. Right? كَذَلِكَ الْقَتْلِ وَالْإِخْرَاجِ, meaning that fighting and expelling them, جَزَاءُ الْكَافِرِينَ, is the repayment of the disbelievers. فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. But if they cease, if they desist, then indeed Allah is the most forgiving, the very merciful. فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا عَنِ الْكُفْرِ وَأَسْلَمُوا. Right? If they cease their disbelief and enter into the fold of Islam, that is one possible explanation. فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ لَهُمْ. Then truly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving, lahum, for them, rahimun, the very merciful, bihim, with them. وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ فِتْنَةٌ وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ لِلَّهِ. And fight them until there is no fitna anymore, and obedience remains for Allah. فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا فَلَا عُدْوَانَ إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. But if they desist, then aggression is not allowed except against the wrongdoers, the aggressors. So وَقَاتِلُوهُمْ حَتَّى لَا تَكُونَ تُوجَدْ فِتْنَةٌ شِرْكٌ. Right? Fight them until there's no more fitna, until there's no more shirk. وَيَكُونَ الدِّينُ الْعِبَادَةُ لِلَّهِ وَحْدَهُ. And that the deen, that religion and obedience and worship is for Allah alone. وَلَا يُعْبَدَ سِوَاهُ. And no one else besides Allah is worshipped. فَإِنِ انْتَهَوْا. And if they stop, if they cease عن الشرك, from shirk, فَلَا تَعْتَدُوا عَلَيْهِمْ. Then don't transgress upon them. دَلَّ عَلَى هَذَا. And what indicates to that? فَلَا عُدْوَانَ. Then there's no enmity, there's no aggression. اعتداء بقتل أو غيره. Right? There's no aggression against them by fighting them or anything else. إِلَّا عَلَى الظَّالِمِينَ. Except upon the wrongdoers, the oppressors. وَمَنِ انْتَهَى فَلَيْسَ بِظَالِمٍ. And whoever stops and ceases their persecution or their disbelief and their fitna and their shirk, then they're not a zalim. فَلَا عُدْوَانَ عَلَيْهِ. So there is no aggression upon them. Na'am. So we are just about out of time, and this is a good place for us to stop today, inshaAllah. Alhamdulillah, we reached to the end of verse 193. So tomorrow we will pick up with verse number 194. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of us, to accept this effort of ours. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us all amongst the people of the Quran. May Allah increase our love for the Quran, our understanding of the Quran, and may He give us the tawfiq to build our lives upon the teachings of the Quran. وصلى اللهم على نبينا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. جزاكم الله خيرا والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.